This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Mike Palm in for Paulie Howard here. Final day of the week for this show. Paulie will make his return next week. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort Casino. Fun show lined up today. Busy baseball card we'll get into. How about 5 WNBA games on a Friday night here? Max Hoffmeyer, shot quality on that sport coming up in 30 minutes. Kevin Rogers, great numbers on the first 5, and with K props in Major League Baseball. Doug Kralstein on props. And Mike, in 15 minutes, the Power Slap returns to Las Vegas tonight. We will have one of the fighters in studio, Emanuel Munoz, and he is a $1.60 favorite here tonight at Circa Sports. I can't wait. I have never talked to a Power Slap fighter in my life. I think it's going to be an interesting conversation.
Yes, I have not either. So I'm glad he's agreed to join us here. A lot of them had to leave to go to do a press event this afternoon. He's the first fight on the main card, not a title fight, but the first fight on the main card. So he was able to delay his departure time by about 45 minutes to join us. So.
And you book this event, every single one of them.
We do.
Are you the only book that you know of, legally speaking, that books Power Slap?
Oh, I haven't seen it on the books I use here in Nevada.
Neither have I.
It pop up. Maybe it's booked somewhere, but of the books that we use in Nevada, I haven't seen it. But we get, as they're able to grow the purses, the more you can take on a fight, right?
Sure.
I remember the first slap card, and a guy was trying to bet $3,000 on a fight that had a $1,200 purse or whatever, right? I mean, how could you book that, right? I mean, it makes it very corruptible.
Yes, very much so.
But as Dana White grows this and grows, I mean, did you see the tickets for tonight? The average ticket price is almost $900 for this slap tonight.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
The venue is
3,000 people.
3,000 will get in there.
Yes, and the average price, Derek said, was like $880.
Oh, wow. Okay, I never would have guessed that, obviously.
Good thing we get the comps. Bring a group.
Yeah, and Derek's going tonight.
He did. He invited you and Paul.
Yep. I can't make it. I have other plans tonight.
You and Lorraine have plans, yes.
So, regardless, you guys will take $1,000 right now on these fights.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty impressive.
Not bad.
No, I'd say not bad. I mean, if people want to take a whack at it, you can get a dime down. That's pretty decent.
He's a $1.60 favorite, so you could bet $1,600 to make $1,000 on Munoz.
Mm-hmm. So the NBA draft now is over with, the first 2 rounds. I don't know what people think about spreading it out now, Wednesday night and a Thursday night, but I will remind people that, for those of you who might be bored or don't care, or you think that you're never going to find any good players out of the second round, I'm here to remind you that that is incorrect, and that you will find basically good to great players almost every single year in the second round of the NBA draft. And I have the names right in front of me. If you go back over the years, Nikola Jokic, of course, the best second round pick of all time. He is I'd put him wherever you want, top 5, top 10, top 15 player of all time already. Manu Ginobili, late second rounder. Marc Gasol was a second-round pick. Like, I can go down the list. Jalen Brunson, Alex English, Draymond Green, Gilbert Arenas. And I have a ton of other names as well that you're going to find. And I liked some of the picks that were made last night. I'm curious what you think of Janai Broome going to the 76ers. Right? He was in the mix, had a chance at winning the Wooden Award the entire year.
They were a pick 'em almost all year between he and Flagg.
Sure.
Right? I mean, at one point, he became like a $1.30 favorite for it.
That's right. Do you think he has a chance to be a decent, bench guy in the NBA?
I do. I think he'd be a good contributor. He's got a little versatility to his offensive game. Can catch the ball in the post. Mm-hmm. Can step out and shoot. I don't know why not.
Yeah, I'm always a little torn at giving strong opinions on guys because some who I thought were going to be unbelievable at this level never panned out. And other guys who people really didn't talk about and I loved, they turned into great players. So it's a coin flip. It's kind of like the NFL draft as well. But in terms of landing spots, I like Cam Jones to Indiana. He'll help fill the void a little bit. It's not going to be possible for one guy, and they won't be able to do it collectively. But with no Halliburton, Cam Jones is a hell of a player and filled it up at Marquette. And Kobe Brea to the Suns was an automatic three-point bucket for Kentucky this last year. He definitely has a role, in my opinion, in the NBA. And you can write these down and come back and Tell me how wrong I am in 3 years, because that could absolutely be the case. But Thiero to the Lakers, I think if he could find a shot at the NBA level, I think Thiero is the kind of guy that could absolutely have an impact sometime. And this, I might be a homer, but I thought what the Jazz did, we'll get to Ace Bailey here in a second, but getting Tanjay late in the draft like they did last night. I'm a Wisconsin Badger guy, grew up in the state, so I love Badger basketball. That kid was phenomenal last year. And when I watch him, I'm like, I think he might be able to make a decent impact somewhere in the NBA. Now he goes to the Jazz. What does that mean? Well, it's going to depend on what the team's actually going to look like next year. And you called this yesterday on the show. You're like, what are they doing? Why would the Jazz take Ace Bailey 5th overall? The kid never wanted to go there. And now this report from Brian Windhorst today already saying that the team was super excited to welcome him over the weekend. He's not there. The other first-round pick, this is what you're supposed to do. Walter Clayton flew to Utah on Thursday night, ready to go. Ace Bailey did not go there. There's been minimal contact with him and the team. Not a crisis yet, according to Windhorst. But if he's not there by Monday, getting ready for the training camp for the Summer League, then we might be talking about an issue.
Holdout. Could be a holdout. I'm wondering, Mitch, if I thought, this is the moment where everybody in the world, or who's ever watching the ESPN broadcast, but it's going to get replayed, right? Is the camera goes on you when you get picked. Now, of course, most guys are hugging their mom and their dad and their family and all. His reaction is to utter a profanity, right? And clearly on camera said the F word, and was very disgusted that Utah took him because he wanted to stay in the East Coast. He doesn't want to live in Salt Lakes. This is all these issues that they said the head case, right? And all the red flags with this guy, but he had such a high ceiling, whatever. I wonder what my initial thought was when I read it, because I saw this tweet this morning. I wonder if Clayton, who is going to play for the Jazz, at 100-1 is worth some pizza money for Rookie of the Year. If this guy doesn't report, if this guy doesn't end up with him, I try to take advantage of this situation.
Okay, there could be a path there where Clayton absolutely shines as a rookie?
There could. Well, obviously would be helped if this kid is not there.
Well, then you need that, for sure.
As far as usage.
Not a great start here.
No.
And I guess Utah, they just told themselves, I don't care, right? Doesn't matter. He doesn't want to come here, doesn't want to leave the East Coast. Doesn't matter. We're going to take him anyway, number 5 overall. And remember, he was not the favorite to go 5th overall. Bailey was around 3-1 or higher right before the draft started to go 5th. And they took him. So the betting market was wrong on that one. I will bring this up to remind people of this. Mark Spears with a great tweet earlier today, who has covered the Warriors in the NBA for a long, long time. He tweeted out that the Ace Bailey story reminds him about Stephen Curry's dad, Dell, and agent asking the Warriors not to draft him in 2009 with a 7th pick so he could go to the Knicks with the next pick. Steph also didn't work out for the Warriors. Undeterred Warriors GM Larry Riley drafted Steph anyway. And the rest is history with that. But that's so far out of sight, out of mind that we forget about that. And that was actually one example that did happen. And I don't recall that happening, actually.
I didn't remember that until you sent me that tweet.
Yeah.
Not at all. And you'd think with, Del Curry being involved in the whole situation that maybe it's the fathers get too involved, like Elway's dad.
Yeah, right. What would you think the ceiling would be for Clayton? Optimum conditions here this year. Bailey doesn't report, not going to play for them this year. Could he be a guy that averages 12 to 15 points per game?
Yeah, I don't think he'll get to that 18-point
probably not
threshold that you have. I'd say 12 to 14 points a game. Is that going to be good enough? I don't know. Obviously, you have to weigh it against the rest of the class.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the way that he played late in games in Florida could turn into a thing in the NBA as well?
So clutch. I mean, the guy willed this team to a title.
He dominated down the stretch in several games in the tournament. Absolutely took over as a guy who was 6'3". And by the way, I thought that he did a great job, not only just dropping bombs from way downtown, but at that small size, I thought he was terrific at getting to the rack last year for Florida as well. There's also this, and I tend to agree with this. Thor Nystrom is a good follow on X. Very, very big NFL guy, and he tweeted this out on Wednesday night during the first round, that if you combined the best aspects of the NFL draft and the NBA draft, you would have the NFL draft.
That was funny.
Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
Do you think the NFL draft would be better if they went to 5 minutes between picks?
I do.
Or is 10 that's totally fair?
No. I think the teams need more time to maneuver? I don't know. I think a lot of that's done ahead of time. Sometimes you have to react. I think they get too deep into these stories that become uninteresting when they have to kill 10 minutes. I think it's a struggle.
Yeah. I know this from a betting aspect. Betting the NBA draft is obviously, it'll never, ever touch what the NFL draft can be or has turned into. Even though, and you guys fully admit this, like you don't even want to book the NFL draft.
Not really. We hope to keep a small loser. Keep the loser under six figures. We're happy.
Do you dedicate one person?
No.
You don't?
One guy is the lead point, but there's 4 or 5 guys trying to find all the information they can. They're sending texts. There's a whole text string and do that. But ultimately, one person has to book it.
Yeah, and you don't even book the NBA draft.
No.
And also, like, the calendar doesn't allow it to be a big betting event, right? The finals ended on Sunday. Here you go Wednesday night. Bam, there's the draft.
Yeah, there's no prep or lead up to it.
Yeah. All right, if you're serious about winning this football season, the VSiN NFL Betting Guide is your first real edge, coming out Tuesday, July 1st. It's packed with in-depth previews of all 32 teams, season win total breakdowns, best bets from trusted VSiN experts, player props, and betting projections. Everything you need to bet smarter all season long. Kick off your season with confidence and get full access to everything and every VSiN Betting Guide, daily best bet emails, and exclusive content through the Super Bowl. All the way through the Super Bowl for only $175. Your smartest NFL season bet starts now at vsin.com/subscribe. Up next, we will talk to a fighter tonight in the Power Slap event in Las Vegas. You can bet on these matches. Emanuel Munoz on the show. How did he ever get into wanting to be a pro slapper? We'll ask him next.
What's the guarantee?
Mike, time to make history. Players at Circa Million make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries choose one team each week with no point spread. The last one standing wins it all.
We have $21 million on the line. Are you in? Visit circasports.com for details.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah. Came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
VSiN has a weekly show dedicated to horse racing. Join Mike Somich and Aaron Halterman for VSiN at the Track, Thursday at 2:10 p.m. Eastern on the VSiN YouTube channel. Get previews of the top races throughout the summer, plus weekly picks and interviews with expert analysts. Join the show and ask questions live in the YouTube chat. Whether you're a seasoned handicapper or just getting into the sport of kings, we'll help you make smart plays and have more fun with horse racing on VSiN at the Track every Thursday on YouTube at VSiN Live.
is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Power Slap returns to Las Vegas tonight at the Fontainebleau. Mike Palm in for Paulie Howard here today. You were saying that tickets were selling for almost $900 on average tonight, and the arena over at Fontainebleau holds 3,000 people, and to my knowledge, it's a sellout tonight.
It's like the Caitlin Clark ticket prices over the weekend to see the Aces.
That's truly incredible. People are fired up, can't wait for it. The event, again, goes on tonight. Circa books all the action. You can get down a dime on the fights, and this is really cool. We're joined in studio right now by one of the fighters on the card tonight. Emanuel No Love Munoz joins us here in studio. Good to meet you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Just excited for tonight. Excited for the opportunity.
Did you sleep at all last night?
Yeah, I slept real good. I've been doing this for a little while, so obviously general nerves, but I'm calm, cool, collected.
Okay, let's get into your background first, right? Because something tells me, and we've never met before, MMA background, bar fights. Like you're as a young guy. Like I grew up around all that stuff too in the Midwest. Guys who would go out on a Friday night absolutely looking for brawls every single time that they have a couple of drinks. But what is your background overall?
Yeah, I grew up playing sports, mostly football. I played at some in California, played some very good schools, played against some NFL quarterbacks and players now. After high school, I started to get into MMA and eventually found myself in Power Slap.
Now, you're considered a veteran of Power Slap, right? Is this, I heard, your 9th fight?
This will be my 10th tonight.
10th fight, so you're a veteran.
Yeah, I've been here since season 1 of the show and since Power Slap 1.
So when you first heard that this is going to become an event, did you say, oh, Jesus, that looks pretty wild, or were you like, I absolutely am going to do this?
Yeah, when I first got the phone call from the Power Slap executives, I looked it up. It's not something I'd really seen before, and at that time I was already doing MMA. I looked it up and I was like, I take a punch. I could take a punch. I know I could take a punch. I have a great chin. What's a slap going to be? So I signed up right away and been here since.
So what is that like though when you're standing there and you know it's coming? And you got to sit there and you have to take it, right? What is that like compared to being in the octagon as an MMA fighter and it's not going to be a slap, it's going to be a punch, and you don't know when it's coming and it might hit you? What's the difference there between the two?
Yeah, I tell everyone all the time with MMA, obviously you get to move around a little bit. You're focused on various different things. But when we step up on the podium and we're going to take a slap, there's only one thing I'm focused on, walking through it and being okay. I tell everyone all the time, by the time I get up there and I'm ready to take a slap, my ego has grown so far that I'm prepared for anything. You bring a baseball bat up there and hit me with it, it wouldn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You're going to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you train the defensive part of this when there is no defense, right? I mean, do you train by having people hit you? Does that make it better, or do you avoid that in your training?
No, I completely avoid. I would never let anyone slap me. It's our brains are very important. Obviously, we don't want to cause any unneeded trauma. So outside of this, I train a little bit of my neck, my jaw. Really, it's a God-given talent. I would say some people have it, some people don't. But there's definitely techniques to brace for it correctly, to take the hit correctly. So it's not all just hoping for the best. Obviously, there's a little bit of technique, but really you have it or you don't.
Well, how about the technique then on the offensive side of it, right? Because there are rules to this as well.
Yeah.
Like you can't jump up and just whack the guy like that. You have to stay like in your stance. So you must sit there and practice that, but how do you practice that getting ready?
Yeah, I mean, it's all rotational power. It's something we've learned, various different athletes have come together and learned over the last 3 years, putting stuff together, all great minds and stuff. And we learn every match, every event a little bit more. But it's just rotational power, learning how to bring that rotational force and keep playing it, obviously, and lay down the best slap possible.
Now, you're the favorite tonight in your match. Minus $1.60, so a person has to bet $160 to win $100 on you. They have to lay a price. But you won the coin flip.
Yes.
So you get to slap first. How important in these matches is winning the coin flip?
I'd say when you get to the top of the divisions, the top of the top level of the sport, most of those guys have taken 10, 15, 20, 30 slaps. I myself have taken 30 slaps, and I've only ever been sat down once on a foul. So as much as it sounds nice, really it's not that important. For the guys who really have it, who have been around, they can take one. So while it does set a tone early on, obviously, if you can land a good one, a lot of guys can take that first one.
A lot of guys can take the first one, huh?
Yeah.
Do you anticipate this going over the first round? Or are you going to end it right away?
I'm very confident. This is a rematch for me tonight. Someone I faced before in the past. And it took me 5 rounds the last time, but I've grown a lot since then. I think I'll be able to get it done early tonight.
Wait, so you guys went back and forth and slapped each other 5 times in the previous fight?
Yes. Yeah, 5 times.
What is that like?
It was exhilarating. It was amazing. For those who don't know about his background, previously before me, he was 5-0, all 5 knockouts in the first or second round. I took 4 of his best, and I was all right. So it was an accomplishment for sure. Tonight, I don't want to take any, though.
And you're pretty confident that you can end it in the first?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident I can end it tonight.
Well, you're a big guy. Like, how big are you overall? What's your size?
I walk around probably about 190. We're competing at 171 tonight. I made weight. He did not. He's a little bit heavier. But I'm pretty stout. So
what does that mean, by the way, in power slap fighting, when one makes weight and the other doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, it's like boxing or MMA. There's a designed weight class. Our weight class was 170. He came in at 178. It's a little bit over. Or a lot of it over for fighting, I should say. But, I'm pretty confident in myself. Now,
Mike, you brought something up earlier as bookmaking, right, as that side of it. Eventually, you think you can get to the point of where fighters might be allowed to bet on themselves, but we're not at that point right now, are we? Like, no, Manuel couldn't go down there right now and put down $1,600 to win tonight, could he?
No, I think that the size of the purse is what will determine that, right? When the purses get big enough that it wouldn't affect, and obviously they could only bet on themselves, right? But
is he allowed to bet on other fights, but just not himself?
I don't know that, Mitch.
Okay.
It's an interesting question.
Not.
You can't?
Yeah, we're not allowed to bet on anything power slap related.
You're in the welterweight division.
Yes.
There's a welterweight title fight tonight.
Yes.
Do you guys have rankings, like as a contender, where you are in that division?
Yeah, I'm the #1 contender right now.
So you would get a shot at if you win tonight, you would get a shot at the title in your next fight?
It's very possible. I just went back-to-back with the current champion right now. We went 10 rounds altogether, had 2 very close fights. So we'll see how they play out tonight.
Jeez. The heavyweights that go at it, some of the videos that I've seen from that, they're out instantly. Right? So is it maybe more important with the heavyweights to win the coin flip so they can go first?
Actually, some heavyweights carry a ton of power, but you'd be surprised some of those heavyweights have a chin. I know personally the gentleman who got me into power slap, Dorian Perez, he's probably top 5 in the world right now, and I've never seen him hurt even.
Hurt? Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing phases him?
Nothing.
Jeez.
Derek got involved in Circa with Power Slap early because of our relationship with Dana White. What has it been like being able to come to Las Vegas and hang out at Circa when you have a fight?
Yeah, I mean, the Circa is amazing. They've been so great to us as all of us Power Slap guys. So being here every fight week and stuff, it's been great. They take very good care of us. Obviously, it's a very beautiful hotel. Even more fun for after the fights and so on. So it's been great here.
You guys been hanging at Stadium Swim, I believe, right?
Yeah, we've been hanging. Most of the guys are at Stadium Swim every day.
Every day? It's a pretty decent pool.
Yeah, it's a very nice pool.
Yeah. Okay, so if you were an analyst on the fight card tonight, is there any fight that you would actually like and say, I think this guy's going to win?
I mean, the 3 championship fights tonight are all, I think, very close fights.
Pretty much pick-ems?
Yeah, I would say for sure. There's some cards on the under. I like Pono Pao tonight. Against James Seekman. I know James Seekman had previously won against him, but I feel really confident in Bono's growth. Zakir, he had an amazing debut. He looked really good in that, so excited to see him again tonight.
So you're on with us right now live. It's 1:23 in the afternoon Pacific time, and you're fighting exactly when tonight?
The card starts at 6. I think I'm the 5th fight, so probably about 7:38.
Almost
You're the first fight of the main card.
First fight of the main card.
What do you do between now and then?
Me personally, I'm a really grounded person. I like to level, get as mellow as possible. I'm not very excited in that term. I get excited when the time comes. So for now, I'm just gonna be relaxing, just taking in the moment and enjoying it.
Go to the hotel room, get a nap in? Or are you too psyched?
I could probably nap right now. I slept good last night, thankfully. So I'll probably just be relaxing, watching a little bit of TV and getting ready. All
right, very good. Who were some of your, is there anybody that you could model your fighting or your slapping after?
Like I said, I talk to a lot of the guys in Power Slap. We all, communicate very often, and we all learn from each other. I know I talked to Robert Trujillo, the current lightweight champion. I talked to Vern Kathy all the time. He's a super good knockout artist in the light heavyweight division. I try to learn a little bit from everyone.
Well, thank you for sticking at Circa a little bit later than the rest of the crew and hanging out, coming on today. We really appreciate that. It was great to meet you, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Right to Riverside, California.
Riverside, California.
IE Rise Up tonight. All right.
Yeah.
For sure.
And Mike has been to the Power Slap before and said it's also
tremendous
exhilarating
production.
to watch.
It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
absolutely.
Every celebrity is there. Everybody, the who's who in town.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I tell everyone all the time, you have to try it. You have to try it once.
Do it at least one time.
once.
Good luck, Manuel. Up next, Max Hoffmeyer on the program from Shot Quality. We'll get into the WNBA and landing spots that he likes after the NBA draft.
Gear up for football season the sharp way with a VSiN Pro subscription. Right now, grab our football special for just $175. An early bird deal that gives you full VSiN access through the Super Bowl. That includes our NFL betting guide, loaded with team previews, power ratings, and season-long best bets. Plus, pro picks sent to your inbox daily, betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, live shows on the VSiN Watch app, and so much more. Don't wait. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's a busy card tonight in the WNBA. 5 games on a Friday. Doesn't happen every week the way it seems. And we head out here to the Progressive guest line as Max Hoffmeyer joins the program with shot quality bets. Max, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. And I'll tell you what, real quick, the guest before, that guy was so calm, so poised for having a power slap, tonight. The fact that he's like, I'm going to take a nap before, I would be on edge all day if I had something.
I was going to say, do you go back to your room and listen to the hardest heavy metal music to get ready for it? Who's you in, right? Who are you going to put up in the room and listen to?
Enya.
And evidently. Maybe. And then he just goes back and takes a quick nap, pops up. Hey, buddy, time to go fight. All right, I'll be there.
Yeah, after that, I was ready to bet him -160. I was like, I love this guy.
Yeah, that was great. He was really, really good.
Well, he gave out Pona Pau at -125. That's who I'm betting. I mean, that was his pick.
Yeah. Okay, so last night we saw the Indiana Fever with no Caitlin Clark get run out in the fourth quarter by Los Angeles. And that point spread moved, obviously, throughout the day. And it moved, 5, 5.5, 6 points, depending on the book. And we talked about that, and I asked Mike Palm here if that was enough points, yada, yada, yada. They gave up 35 points in the fourth quarter, which I think it was you were tweeting about that. That's difficult to do. And now there's no Caitlin Clark tonight. They're in Dallas playing on a rare back-to-back. This opened up 7.5. They're down to 1.5 now as a favorite. What do you make of the number right now, Max?
Yeah, I still don't think they're moving it enough. Yesterday on the news, I played the Sparks +8, and then because of the back-to-back, thinking outside the box a little, the first thing I went and did was also grab today's line +6.5 on a speculation play, and I played it again at +1.5. I think she's worth way more than the 5 to 6 points that they're giving her. Not just from a scoring standpoint, a usage standpoint. The ball is always in her hands. Like you look at Aaliyah Boston has been those last 3 games, she was on an absolute tear because of the extra pressure that Clark got. Like she was struggling scoring. 3 straight cold nights on the road, but that added pressure, she was still getting assists, getting other people open. So it just forces you to play a completely different style, one that you don't want to. And yeah, I know they kind of blew that game, but the Sparks played horrible too. Neither team wanted to win that game. They both played bad. So I took the Wings. I think they win outright. I have Caitlin Clark at least 8 points in my opinion.
I would argue, Max, that in her current form, it isn't that much. And I think she still has the effect of the injury. And I think there may be the effect of the culture surrounding this team with Bonner leaving. And there's just a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Their last 4 fourth quarters since beating the Sun, outscored 33-17 by the Valkyries, 31-20 by the Aces. In a win, outscored 28-19 by the Storm, and then last night 35-17 by the Sparks. Why has this team been so awful in the last 10 minutes of the games?
Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent question. I just feel like it's the defensive pressure. Just something happened between the first and second half, and a lot of it is so for shot quality, we have our expected scores and versus actual scores based on the quality of shots taken. They are getting a little unlucky, but the fact that it's happened multiple times, it starts to turn into a narrative, that you can be bad and unlucky at the same time. When I think of bad and unlucky at the same time, I think of the Aces. The Aces defense has been bad, but they've also been very unlucky last night. Mystics shooting way above expectations. So I think it will rein back a little. Maybe we see tonight. Maybe they have a big fourth quarter, but that's certainly an edge live betting that you'll want to look at.
Would you want to look at betting Aaliyah Boston props under with no Caitlin Clark in the game?
The problem is she might not be as efficient as she's been, but she might get a higher volume. Because there is no Clark. Yeah, so that's one that I would probably just no bet on.
So even if people are late to the party right now and they never grab the 6.5 like you did in the game, you think Dallas plus 1.5 or maybe even on the money line as right now with that number or those numbers being on the board, you think that's worth a bet?
Yep. I took it again at plus 1.5. I think they should. I think they win the game.
Very good.
The Wings. I think they should be favored.
That's awesome. I hope they get the job done for you tonight. Another game, overnight line hit Atlanta. Very solid basketball team as a 1 or a 1.5 point favorite tonight against Minnesota. It was hanging tight until this morning. The news came out that Nafisa Collier, the leading candidate to win the MVP in this league, she's having a ridiculously good season. She's probable, and she's in the projected starting lineup. Now the Lynx are favored by 3.5 in the game here. Is that enough of a move, knowing that Collier's probably going to play?
Yeah, so I kind of like the Dream to bounce back here.
Okay.
They just played one of the worst games, not just of their season, but since 2010. It was the statistically worst shooting performance. They were like 25 points under expectation. Problem with the Dream is they shoot a lot of threes, so they're coming off one of the like where everything went wrong games. So I think they bounce back a little here at home. So I would take the plus 3.5 for the Dream.
Money on the Phoenix Mercury at home tonight to the New York Liberty. The defending champs open up a 2-point favorite. Currently speaking again on the board, it looks like the Mercury are 1.5 painted everywhere. What do you make of that number, Max?
Yeah, the Mercury are a team that I've done a complete 180 on. Coming into the season, I was not very high. They had a lot of question marks, but I love what I'm seeing. I took Mercury plus 2.5. I still like it at -1. These teams just played a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. It was in New York, and the Mercury they won outright, and then they were expected to win based on the SQ score and the quality of shots taken. So I think this is a good matchup for them. If the Liberty want to win, they will have to limit the turnovers. Last game, Liberty turned it over 19 times, and they're number 1 in the WNBA taking care of the ball. But Mercury, number 1 turnovers force. So it's going to come down to whether the Liberty can take care of the ball. And they don't have Jonquil Jones, and she might not be their best player, but I think she's the most important from an on-off perspective. Their net rating splits. She's very, very important to this team.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Max Hoffmeyer, he is with Shot Quality Bets. You can follow him on X. He is at Hoffy8121. Tonight, the Chicago Sky playing Golden State. One of the stories of the year, no hyperbole, in the WNBA. They have absolutely exceeded expectations beyond belief. I mean, who would have guessed that this team would have been an 8.5 point favorite before the season started in this game against Chicago? But that's where we're sitting, even up to 9. And do you have a bet on this game?
Yeah, I took the Valkyries minus the 8.5. The Valkyries were actually one of my lower conviction preseason futures. I took over 8.5 wins. I didn't like it, but I'm like, they can be really bad and still win 9 games. Well, this is one I'm going to, cash probably here soon. I do the Sky. They don't have a true point guard anymore. Courtney Vandersloot went down with an injury, so the turnovers have been killing them. And now they lose Cardoso. She goes overseas. She's got a Brazil commit. So I really think the Valkyries and their home crowds have been awesome. If you're able to watch any of the games, they've been selling out left and right. Great home court. So I think the Valkyries are able to. The Sky didn't have depth coming into the season, so the fact that they've got 2 of their key pieces out, I think the Valkyries, who have a lot of depth, are able to win this game by double digits.
Max, we had a prop up here for WNBA champion Liberty plus 125 or the field minus 145, and somebody asked me about it. I said I would just take the plus 125 and also take the Lynx at plus 225. Barring major injury, I still think this is a 2-team league. I know the Dream have been dramatically improved, and I know Phoenix has played well. I don't buy into Seattle. I don't buy into the culture there. And the Valkyries are a nice story early. I still think it's a 2-team league, maybe even more so than it was last year. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so what I've done actually is instead of taking the Mercury at 18-1, I think that's the one that could disrupt the party. So I took them exact forecast, them to beat the Liberty and then them to beat the Lynx. I figured, if the Mercury are going to get there, they'll probably be playing, like you said, it's kind of a 2-horse race. One of those teams, so I can always, adjust, hedge out. But that's kind of the angle that I'm going at.
That's awesome. That's available, huh? Do you mind sharing where you found that at?
I think it was on Caesars. Maybe I'd have to double check.
Okay.
It was last week, but I'm sure there's still some decent prices out there on those.
Oh, I would think so. Yeah, that's a great angle. I mean, we do that with the NFL. Yeah. We do it with NBA,
Exactus.
whatever. Sure, we do. Again, you can follow Max on X. He's at Hoffy8121. Max Hoffmeyer with shot quality bets. Thanks, Max. Good luck tonight, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
There you go. I think you might be right, by the way. I think the Wings are probably still worth a play. I know that you're going to disagree.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I think that they win by distance tonight.
The Wings
team
do.
is very disorganized, and the point about Aaliyah Boston is she gets all these good looks because Caitlin's feeding her the ball.
That's exactly right. Major League Baseball up next. Mike loves betting unders, and what happened over the last 2 days is absolutely uncanny.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Major League Baseball here. Been we're around the world here in the first hour, I would say. Little NBA draft, little power slap tonight, WNBA with a 5-game slate, and now Mike Paulman for Paulie Howard. You love betting unders.
I do.
Right? Doesn't matter the sport. That's, and a lot of bettors who I know prefer that. And we touched on this yesterday during the show in amazement, and it continued last night. 12 shutouts over the last 2 days. 3 other teams scored exactly 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
The Mariners' solo run came in the top of the 9th last night after a severe rain delay in Minnesota. And the Phillies' only run came in the top of the 8th once Hunter Brown was pulled. 12 shutouts in 2 days, and yesterday we only had 9 games. That is, so are you attacking the board today with any unders at all or no?
No, I thought about this first game in the rotation. I've thought about the Mets game against the Pirates tonight, playing this first 5 under. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Mitch Keller's 1-10. He hasn't pitched that bad. They just don't get any run support for these guys. Mm-hmm. And Peterson's having an excellent year too. So I actually thought about this number. We opened 8.5, now down to 8. I thought there was 4.5 first 5 and lay the juice. I didn't pull the trigger, but that's the game I sort of signaled in on pitching performances.
If I know you like I think I know you, you will have a bet on the first 5 under in the Mariners-Rangers game. It's Logan Gilbert against Nathan Eovaldi. Or do I not know you that well?
Well, and that park is the lowest run-scoring park. Now, part of it's the Rangers play there, the games, but Globe Life has the lowest runs per 9 innings of any park in the baseball now.
This has to be a ballpark factor, is it not?
Sure,
or
it is.
Just the roster stinks. I don't really buy into that.
I guess Simeon's having a bad. I look at this lineup and say, why are they third lowest runs scored?
That's kind of where I'm getting. Yeah.
But Eovaldi's been very good. I was just telling you, I forgot I had bet him at 40-1 after his third start. I have a very small ticket on him, but I was just looking at pending bets because I was going through the metrics today and saying he's still having a very good year. Although he's hasn't made every start, he only has 69 and a third innings. Gilbert, I was higher on Gilbert 2 years ago. When this kid came up, I said, this tall kid with that changeup, he's going to be a top 3 pitcher. It really hasn't sort of manifested itself. He'll clearly be the ace of this staff. You could lean on him and say he's up there to be the ace, but I actually think the Rangers at -108 is worth a look tonight too.
Overall for the game?
Yeah, for the game.
Okay. I played the first 5 under 3.5 -102.
That's not bad. You're getting even money on it.
Everything that you basically just said. And now the Mariners bats also like in this funk. So they're kind of, I guess they have resorted back to the team that they were last year now.
I guess I can't play them because of Malinsky. They're coming back home off the road, so I don't want to make that mistake again.
Yeah. Well, and I'll ask you about this because we did find out today, there was a major mistake that you made the other day, by the way, with the Malinsky special.
Toronto and back.
We found out today that Cal Raleigh, who leads all of Major League Baseball in home runs with 32, he said that he's going to participate next month in the Home Run Derby. I got to tell you, I was surprised to see that. I would have bet the no.
It's disappointing for Seattle fans.
Because we talked about that Wednesday. If you had to make an updated home run total on Cal Raleigh, right? And if it was like 54.5, that to me would be a clear undertake.
Under, over 50.5. Those would be the numbers.
I think so. But now he's going to do this, and part of the deal is, I guess his dad's going to pitch to him.
Okay.
So it's going to be that special moment for sure. But this has been a storyline forever, is that, boy, they really go into the tank after they play in this thing.
Well, it's the muscle usage in that quick amount of time, because it's a lot about how quick you can go. It's a time deal, and I think it throws you off. Just like I always believed, weightlifting throws off your shot in basketball. I honestly believe that. When you do weights, I would only do lower body when I played basketball because I think it throws off your shot when you change your muscle mass.
Well, I will tell you absolutely, unequivocally speaking here, that my playing baseball, much more than I did as a golfer when I was younger, my baseball swing has corrupted my golf game for my entire life.
If you could refine it now, you'd be okay because you could avoid the baseball.
Well,
no, you won't. You'll be playing in the backyard with Bash.
Probably at some point.
Yeah.
I was taking golf lessons to get it back. Not that I was ever Tiger Woods, obviously, but I was getting there where I could hit the ball straight like every single swing. And then the guy tells me something else, like, do this, Mitch, do that, tinker a little bit here. I was in a great spot, found my happy place. And after that, I completely lost everything, and that was it for me. So, but anyway, Cal Raleigh, what did you guys open him up here for most home runs?
I was sitting in a meeting with Chris Bennett when you sent that text, and he remembered he was right. He said, I opened him at 220-1. He remembered that offhand. He said, and it's not a good result. So he went back and researched it. We opened him at 220-1 and took a $100 bet at 220-1. A couple, as he went down, closed at 125-1. We lose about $70K if he ends up hitting the most home runs.
Well, I'm going to guess that he's your biggest loser.
Off the top of his head, he said, I think we lose 100 or more. But he went back and...
so he knew right away that it was going to be a losing effort.
Oh, yeah. He said, I'm embarrassed by this if that's how much we lose.
Well, but honestly speaking here, did you ever think, what were you going to post on the guy, 50-1?
No. We would never take any bet.
You would never take a single bet on something like that.
No.
And to think that this guy is going to, playing catcher in all these games, right, maintaining this level of success throughout basically half the season at this point, who had this?
It's almost impossible. I mean, Salvi Perez hit, 48 or 49?
Yeah.
And he finished runner-up to Ohtani for the MVP 3 years ago?
Yeah,
4 years ago
yeah.
now. It's really hard to do catching. And you see these teams, look at Kansas City. They, split the catching 3 ways. It's become like goalies. It's almost platoon. Everybody does platoon. Going out and they're doing it every day. And he's hitting for average, too.
Sure.
And, it's amazing.
I mean, he honestly, if this were to continue, you have a serious contender here to win the MVP. Mm-hmm. You can't deny it. With him
participating in the home run, does that make you lay off the 5-1 for MVP?
Oh, I'm not going to. Yeah. Did I tell you about this? I think it was with Humans the other day when he was in.
Yeah.
My friend Chad, who lives in Seattle, May 30th, reached out. We went back and forth on several texts. He was still 100 to 125-1 to win the MVP. And he's like, Mitch, we have to get down on this. I'm like, it's going to take an injury to Aaron Judge. That's the only path that I can see.
I think if you had 125-1, you could lay off on Judge as you go down there.
Sure, you
right?
could.
Because it's a 2-horse race right now.
Sure, and it was like multiple texts. And I poo-pooed the idea. I talked him off of it. That one does not feel well.
Does he still consider you a friend?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while. But he likes to bet. They have legal sports betting in Washington. He basically drives to the casino almost every day to put in sports bets.
No mobile. Like Wisconsin.
No
Just
mobile.
like Wisconsin. We met these guys, you remember, in Omaha from Wisconsin Dells begging, we got to get the mobile and Circa come to Wisconsin.
Have to. Yeah. No live betting, obviously. Nothing like that whatsoever. So that one could come back and sting a little bit here. But I think this is actually good news for you in particular here at Circa, not to, right? You would wish that he was going to sign up and play in the home run derby.
Well, that's great because you know that we do 10 times the amount of bets on the home run derby as the All-Star game.
Do you really?
Yeah. That's why the decision to show Love Island on the night of to show the show on the night of the home run derby at Stadium Swim was a little bit of consternation because there are actually people much more come out and bet a ton. Nobody cares about the MLB All-Star game, right? No, who's betting it, right? What are you going to bet? Under 7.5? You're going to bet the American on that? Come on. It's crazy. But people love to bet the home run derby.
They love taking flyers because there's a chance that 12-1 might win it or 6-1. It's going to pay off within a couple of hours. All right. You can't mention the show that you guys were going to put out there at Stadium Swim?
Well, Love Island. We were going to have a watch party for Love Island. I guess that's a big show now. Everybody watches Love Island.
Huh.
But there's been some consternation about copyright and stuff.
Okay. Sorry to hear that.
That's going to be on the night of the home run derby, folks. Free champagne for all the ladies.
But it's been nixed.
Oh, maybe.
Okay, maybe.
Maybe.
All right.
I doubt it.
You have any other baseball bets here today?
I played the White Sox. I'm going back to the well. This Savali ran his mouth. He's going to have to back it up at some point. I'm just on the Giant. I'm just paying the Giants swoon here. All right, after they lost 3 at home to Miami, I got 153 on Savali tonight.
All right, best of luck to you, pal. We'll expand on the baseball card coming up throughout the show. Before the line moves, the Sharp Plays at sharpplays.com is already there. They don't chase the market, they move it. You're not going to outmuscle a billion-dollar sports book or full-time professional bettor on your own. But with the Sharp Plays, you don't have to. Powered by cutting-edge AI and trusted insider sources, the Sharp Plays delivers the edge that serious bettors rely on. You'll get free betting reports, real-time alerts, and market-moving insights, all delivered right to you via email or on X. And this isn't some overnight startup. The Sharp Plays has a documented track record going back to 2011 with receipts, public logs, and results right there on the site. SharpPlays.com, trusted by pros, watched by books. Check them out today at SharpPlays.com. The Dodgers opened up $1.40 today against the Royals. That number quickly moved. I know it's Dustin May going here, but the Royals, this team, boy, oh boy, are they in bad shape right now. So more on that. And first 5 numbers and K-props as Kevin Rogers joins the program coming up. A starting pitcher has gone over his K-prop in 9 straight starts, Mike. But there is a problem today. We'll tell you what it is next.
Introducing the $500 trifecta. Use your GBank Visa signature credit card within